Welcome to another edition of the Scruffy Ginger Podcast. I'm your host and your Scruffy Ginger, Matt Graves. This is episode 9, and it is potentially going to be one of my favorite episodes that I've done so far. I've got my boy Aris on, which you've heard me talk. All my, single-digit listeners out there have heard of Aris. He's on the pod tonight. Aris, welcome to the pod.
Thanks, brother. What an honor to be on the Scruffy Ginger podcast, man. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I hope it goes as well as I think it's going to be.
I was going to say, hopefully not a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but if you fuck it up, then yeah, it might be. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. This episode is not brought to you by Highland Brewing Thunderstruck Coffee Porter. But that being said, this is what we are drinking as far as what I'm drinking on the pod tonight. Aris, what do you got going on? Sipping down there.
America's oldest brewery, my favorite beer there ever was, ever will be, Yingling.
Nice. And I hear that you are planning to pound a 6-pack during this interview.
I am. I literally just opened the first can, so if there's a delayed retort to your comments, it's because I'm sipping. So
that's okay. You're allowed to sip whenever you want. Hey, before we get started, and this isn't giving anything away as far as, because I think the only people that listen to this pod are friends and maybe some people at work, but you're going to get a kick out of this. And I specifically didn't tell you this earlier. I wanted to wait and get your reaction right now. So we had a conversation earlier today where
you and I,
yes, at work, Aris and I work together, and we have this thing that we're supposed to be doing, coming up with a theme night for a baseball a baseball game. Come with a theme night, just trying to draw crowds, put butts in seats, and think of some really cool ideas. We've done this for the past couple of years. Our staff retreat's coming up, and we're all put in teams, and we're going to present the ideas at the beginning of the retreat and decide on the winner, maybe one or two that we're going to use. So one of my events won last year. We don't care. That's not what we're talking about. Just had to plug that, though. This year, we had a really cool idea, my team, and we thought, and I can say this because there's no way it's going to fucking happen now, we were going to do a shark-themed event, or theme. So Shark Week is around late July, early August. We have a homestand around there. The 2020 dates have not been set yet, but we were going to do a Shark Week, or we were going to call it Shark Night, so we don't receive a cease and desist letter from Discovery or whoever runs Shark Week. That being said, we had an idea of getting Tara Reid, who's part of Sharknado, all of the 5 movies that I have never seen.
Same.
Yeah, coming on, or coming to the game, maybe do a first pitch, maybe do a meet and greet. And the reason why she came up was because last year it was Aris, brought it up that we should get her, and tell everyone kind of the cost that you were understood of what it was going to take to get her here, or just to have her do anything.
Sure. Pretty much always looking on, looking outside of the box and whatnot. There's this website. I highly suggest it. If you are listening to this, you might as well open up another browser, bring up Google, and search cameo.com. It's a website where there's all the way from A-list celebrities to F-list celebrities. And they basically solicit themselves, and they'll give you a shout out to whatever it may be. Like, just for example, I'm in this one fantasy football league, and we have gone 9 seasons strong. It took $40 to do a shout out from Josh Cribbs, who's like part of the all-decade team in the NFL.
Oh, hell yeah.
To do a shout out to our fantasy football league, and he mentioned all of the owners in the league, like how many years we've been going, everything like that, like totally personalized. For him, it was $40, and then
That's insane.
like very insane. Like it's totally worth it. Like we can go to a whole discussion about how it's like the matter of, I don't want to spend $40 on a pair of jeans, but I'll spend $40 on 2 beers, depending on where I'm at. I feel like just like having this one moment with Josh Cribbs was amazing. Anywho, so I discovered this website because for whatever reason, like I was in the whole, like 2000s movie-esque type thing, and I stumbled upon Tara Reid's Twitter page, and she was soliciting herself on this website, and I'm like, all right, how much is it to talk to Tara Reid? And it was $130, and she gives you a totally customizable shout out. It goes towards her charity. And like Tara Reid is synonymous with that whole era. And of course now, like her niche is this whole Sharknado thing. And like I mentioned it in passing, and our general manager thought it was amazing. And now, like, I want to know, how did you come about talking with him in this whole shark thing? Like, was that a coincidence, or are you just like a big fan of Tara Reid? What's up?
No, like I think it was a coincidence. So we were so Tim came down to my office, and Corey, who's on my team, we were in there discussing our idea, and Tim brought up a good point. I mean, it's not a competition. There's no like prizes for who wins. It's just a brainstorming thing to try to get different ideas. And so, it would be a really big bummer. And he's on the team, even though he's going to help decide, just because there was an odd number or something like that of people. He was like, well, it'd be kind of a bummer if you thought of an idea and somebody else is already doing it. So he's like, everyone's going to have to tell me at some point anyways what they're doing, what their plan is.
Yeah.
So we don't waste everybody's time at the retreat. And prior in the planning process. So he was like, we have our idea. We're going to stick with it. We're not changing it. You're not going to influence us.
I'm on my second.
And I was like,
I'm on my second beer. I finished the first one. So
you've already pounded it?
I've already finished the first one.
I guess anybody can finish a beer in 7 minutes and 44 seconds, but
yeah.
You know what? I'm not going to tell you to pace yourself. Just do it. You do you. So Tim, anyways, we tell him, and he is like, oh, Sharknado, and then he comes up with it, and I guess he remembers your all's conversation.
Yes.
That's all it was. It was just a crazy coincidence. So, okay, let's get to the gist. So I come up to you, I say, hey, how much do you think it would be for her to get here knowing that it's going to be $130 just for a shout out? She's not A-list anymore. She has name recognition. You're right. She has name recognition. But let's be honest. The only thing people remember her by is that wardrobe malfunction. American Pie and Van Wilder. The other movies fucking suck. Anyways, I didn't even know that she was still working, to be honest. I'm glad she is, cool for her that she's doing shark stuff, but whatever.
Of you, Kara. Proud of you. You know how old she is?
Yes. Well, I haven't done the math, but she was born in 1975.
That's 43 years old.
Yeah.
And she's from New Jersey, repping, born in Jersey as well. What's good?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I reached out to her agent, very professional email. You said your guesstimate would be $3,000.
Correct. 100%.
Right. She was going to require, per her agent, $15,000 plus travel costs.
She's full of shit.
I'll tell you that.
That is a goddamn lie. That is a goddamn lie.
Yeah, like I don't even know where to begin with that. Like, how much? No.
Let me tell you this, if I may. Are you familiar with Ric Flair?
Dude, you are inside my fucking head right now. I was just gonna say,
Are you
I was
serious?
gonna talk about him. Yeah,
Really?
but I think it's because we've had this conversation before
No,
that was
we
my
absolutely have not.
subconscious.
When have we talked about Ric Flair?
I don't know. We could have talked about
I mean,
him.
anywho, Ric Flair. I will. This is a fact. This is a goddamn fact right now. Those on the fucking Scruffy Ginger Pod, listen to this. The fact of the matter is, I have talked to fucking Ric Flair's agent. Ric Flair has a minimum of a 3-hour appearance, which is a very long appearance compared to other people. And each hour is $5,000. If you do the mental math, that is $15,000. Who, in their right mind, would rather hire Tara Reid for that same price?
See, I thought Ric Flair was 30, but no.
Ric Flair, we can bring Ric Flair over for $15,000 right now. He might be coked up and a fucking cockhead, but I think a lot more people would rather see fucking Ric Flair just because this guy somehow is alive. He's on the brink of fucking death for all of his fucking stories that he has been a part of than going to see Tara Reid, the girl from fucking Van Wilder. And I'm sure she has a lot of fucking wrinkles. I shouldn't be talking shit because she might end up being at the Smokey Stadium, but anywho.
She won't be. I'm going to make it a point to not even... I'm going to respectfully reply to that email, and that'll be the end of it. Ric Flair just got married. Well, I don't say just. I mean, like, within the last year. His, like, 7th wife or something like that. I pulled that number out of my ass. I have no idea how many marriages he's had, but who cares? I mean, whatever. That's not the point. But yeah, so that's a smooth transition into football talk.
Oh, yeah. Totally. Great transition. But you could say that Ric Flair is a titan of wrestling.
You could say that. You could also get off my fucking pod if you ever say that again.
Third beer.
Fuck Tara Reid. In the same way...
Would. Anywho.
What?
I said I would.
Yeah, I don't know about now. I looked at her Instagram, and it looks like it's all touched up photos.
Well, it definitely is.
I mean, I'm not taking
roughed up.
Listen, I am not by any means saying that what is being shown is false. All I'm saying is that I don't really care enough to even continue this conversation.
So the Titans.
She can post whatever she wants. The Titans. Okay. End of an era. End of an era for the Tennessee Titans.
This is a
Marcus
huge
Mariota.
moment.
It's a big moment. It's one of those moments where, like, but you know what? It is, but it isn't, because we have done this carousel before. You know, we did it with Jake Locker. We did it with Vince Young. You know, it's like we didn't know this was coming, but it is kind of sad just to, like, know you have to do it all over again. And hopefully you get it right this time. But it's
Marcus
needed.
Mariota was the 2nd overall pick of the draft. This is this is the definition of a bust.
Yeah, dude, I won't forget where I was or, like, the emotions that I felt on that day.
Were you wearing a lei?
No, but I was
Getting
in my parents' place.
Oh.
I was over there watching the dog or something, and dude, I was like, I was doing things that I would never have imagined myself doing in that moment. I was beating my chest like a fucking gorilla. I was like
Donkey Kong?
Yeah. And I was like, well, not like cartoonish like that, but yeah, dude, I was beating my fucking chest. I was like, just not screaming, but just like, giving like, hell yeah. And yeah, so much for that. So much for wasting that moment in my life for nothing.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but was Marcus Mariota's first NFL game against Jameis Winston?
And
for some reason, like
ass. It was.
It was.
It was.
Did the Titans win or no?
We annihilated them. Here's the difference between that game. This is where everybody, because it was a number 1, number 2 pick going at it. This is where everybody thought.
I remember correctly. Okay, yeah. But what happened?
Marcus Mariota threw four touchdowns in the first half on cloud 9, if you're a Titans fan. Jameis Winston, his first throw in the NFL, pick 6.
Really?
Pick 6.
Who took
also,
it back?
The next drive, he's in his like his drop, snaps the ball, takes his drop, trips on his own feet, and falls on the ground. You would have thought, the fucking heavens opened, and we thought, thank the Lord we didn't pick this fucker. Or thank the Lord that they didn't pick Marcus. So, yeah, we ended up winning that game, like, easily. We took Marcus Mariota out in the second half. That's how much we were winning.
Dominated.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like there's been moments throughout his career where you're just like, really? Like annihilating the Patriots last year, beating the Chiefs in Arrowhead in the playoffs. It's crazy. There's so many moments where, like, he's definitely done enough to where, like, another team's going to pick him up. And
let me hear it. Let me hear what Marcus Mariota's career is going to be like starting from now.
Well, so the Titans announced that we're starting Tannehill, and some analysts have said,
as they should.
Right. Some analysts have said that there might be an opportunity for them to still start Marcus at some point down the road this season, but here's my thing: if you're not going to commit to him long term with a contract, you've already benched him. You took him out of the game last week. Now you're starting Tannehill this week. Let the guy just be healthy and let another team get him. I just don't foresee a reason why you put him back in as far as a starting job is concerned. If we're down and like Tannehill's thrown like 3 interceptions in the first half, then yeah, maybe you put him back in. But
why? Why?
Well, if you're at a point where you're still like in the game, but your quarterback's not doing it, that's like how it was last week. We were only down. I think when we put Tannehill in, we were only down 13 in like the third quarter. So we had still an opportunity to come back. That's the only way I foresee Marcus getting back on the field is if, like, I don't know. It has to be like an atrocious performance by Tannehill.
Let me tell you this. Just coming from my perspective as an Eagles fan, diehard, just as you're a diehard Titans fan.
Yes.
The Eagles were in much turmoil. They handed the keys to a total fuckhead by the name of Chip Kelly. And everyone thought that they were going to sell the farm for Mariota. It didn't happen. The Eagles had a very, very weird, I don't know, you could say like it's a teenage stage of picking up Sam Bradford, bringing in Vince Young, like all these fuckheads who nobody wanted on their team, but it's like, oh yeah, I know him. Oh yeah, he's an everyday starter. And it turned out to be nothing. So it's just really weird to think about Marcus Mariota because of how much Chip Kelly was, tied to this name. And it was just like, all right, let's start all over again from this legacy of the early 2000s where it was Andy Reid, Donovan McNabb, Terrell Owens, Brian Westbrook. This is a team that made it to the NFC Championship game 4 years.
Yeah, consistently.
Yeah, this was, a constant division winner, a constant 11-win team, successful, but couldn't break through when it mattered. And working for a radio station where I interned for, like, everyone and their mother thought Marcus Mariota is going to be the future of the Eagles franchise. And then when, the chips finally fell, she's like, okay, fair enough. The Titans want him. The Eagles didn't make the trades to move up, whatever it may be. It's just kind of weird to think about because all of this potential and it just feels like it's a lost cause. Am I wrong? I mean, what can I say?
No, I don't think you're wrong. I mean, listen, like you were the Eagles. Yeah, I do remember them being in the conversation of like trading for the pick. So I think, well, I forget what pick you guys had. I feel like you had to jump almost like 10 spots to get there or something like that. It was like you guys would have had to sell the farm to get them.
100%, but we were in that mentality at that point, because we finally moved away from Andy Reid. It's just like, all right, let's do this run and gun type thing. Like, we had the least amount of time of possession because we're all about like, yeah, we're not huddling up. We're just doing this whole thing like we're, like it's a 2-minute drill 100% of the time. And it didn't work. It did not work in the NFL. Right. So.
Yeah, no, this whole thing with Marcus, the frustrating thing is that his durability. He put on I think it was 10 pounds of muscle this offseason to try and fix that, which is good. That's good for him. But you get down to the games that you need him there, and he gets injured, and then we're in the playoffs and we're starting Blaine Gabbert against the Colts. Well, it's not the playoffs, but it's like whoever wins goes to the playoffs. And we're relying on Blaine Gabbert to get us there. Like he started a couple games early on in the season because Marcus was hurt. And he did win a game or two maybe, but shit, I just want I don't know what it feels like to have stability at the quarterback position. And I envy teams that have that. It's unreal. Speaking of not knowing what it feels like, obviously the Eagles won the Super Bowl, was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Take me back.
And it feels amazing.
Yeah, I was going to say, take me back. Where were you? What was going through your head? And the emotions you felt afterwards. Give me a play-by-play of what was going through your head.
Are you sure you want to hear it? I'll make it real quick. I don't want to go all out, but
go all out because this is your all's first, in your life. This is your first Super Bowl win.
So just as a backstory on it, I felt, as I told you this before, I feel as if the Eagles were never going to win a Super Bowl. I just felt like, whatever. It's like a certain, I don't know. There's something about certain teams that have that fucking mentality to win a fucking Super Bowl. And, the Eagles, hey, they're always like, oh, yeah, they're good. They're never going to make it through. And I don't want to talk about the Titans and Algie Crumpler and that certain year where they did a really great job. Sorry to bring it up.
Fuck Algie.
But the Eagles, they had this really good year. Doug Peterson, everyone thought, okay, yeah, they're good. But it's just so weird to think about because, we were the first NFL team in the history of the league that we were an underdog as the number 1 seed in the divisional round. They were going to lose. Like, everyone said the fucking Eagles were going to lose the Falcons. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, they're going to fucking light us up. And then no team scored 20 points in that game. It was in the teens. And we won on a last-second deflected pass, or it was 4th down and the pass was overthrown. There was defensive pressure, and we won the game. And then, so we survived, as people said, survived the divisional round. And now it's the NFC Championship game, and we're an underdog again against, it's really weird to think about now. We're an underdog against Case Keenum and the Minnesota Vikings without Adrian Peterson,
Mm-hmm.
And the Eagles, they gave up the opening drive touchdown to the Vikings. The Vikings went up in that game 7-0, and they didn't score for the rest of the game. You asked the question of where I was. I was watching the NFC Championship game at my buddy's birthday party in San Diego. We were at a fucking bar, and I was fucking drunk, having a great ass time. Eagles dominated. They won the game 38-7, I'm pretty sure. After giving up the first 7 points of the game, they went on to just dominate them. And then in the Super Bowl, just as a backstory, like, I was born and raised in southern New Jersey. So all my buddies, like, everybody who's an Eagles fan is back home. And I was living in Southern California for my job. And we made it to the Super Bowl. And entering the Super Bowl, I thought, this can't be possible. There's no way we're going to win this game with our backup quarterback, Nick Foles, because everybody's in Wentz's dick,
Right.
Because Wentz is like, he's a fucking, he's a sexy name. He's young. He slings the ball. He can run. He can do whatever, And Nick Foles is a guy who I ridiculed because I called him back foot Foles, because when he was the quarterback for the Eagles, he would always just scramble in the pocket, throw off his back foot, and it was picked off. And then he ended up as a fucking backup to the Eagles. Wentz gets hurt in week 15 against the Rams. Foles comes in. He plays a shitty week 16 game against the Raiders. We barely win. The last 2 games of the season don't matter. Like week 17, none of the starters play. We lose 6-0 in the Cowboys. Nobody remembers that. It really doesn't matter at the end of it because we locked up the number 1 seed. But nobody's confident in Nick Foles. Absolutely no one is. Who's confident in Billy Volek coming into a game for the Titans? Nobody. I mean,
God, that's such a blast from the past, dude.
You're welcome. But that's literally how it felt like. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, we know Nick Foles, but I don't know. What the fuck? And so the Falcons game, we barely survived. That Vikings game, wow, okay, the defense is really good. In the Super Bowl, all right, we're playing the Patriots. I mean, we can talk for 3 hours about the New England Patriots, about who they are, their legacy, and whatnot.
You got to go into that game being like, oh, shit.
So I entered the game because, I mean, just from my perspective, I have a very unique perspective. I am living in Southern California where there's no Eagles fans. I don't have any friends who are Eagles fans. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to watch the game at home and not drink any booze, which is very against my perspective. I'm going to try to cut it quick because I've been talking for a long time. But we ended up winning the game. And it was incredible. Like, Gostkowski missed a point after. There was no defense the entire game. It was just bombs down the field, long runs. Like, it was basically what the NFL wanted. That was the definition of what the NFL fucking wanted.
Right.
And one defensive play ended up turning the whole game. Graham had the strip sack. Eagles take the ball. He got the field goal, and, you know, it put the Patriots in a difficult situation where they had to do a Hail Mary to win the game. They didn't win the game. The Eagles won the Super Bowl, and I still can't believe it. I really can't.
I have no idea. Like, I envy that feeling. Like, I've
never felt so good about myself. Like, I called my buddies from home, and they were fucking drunk, like having the time of their life. And like, here I am, fucking sober for the most important game in Eagles history. And they fucking won. I couldn't believe it, man.
It's unreal, man. I just want to see one. I want to see the Titans win one Super Bowl in my lifetime. That's all I want. As far as football goes, like, I did it,
dude. I did it. The Eagles won the Super Bowl, and then 2 hours later, I bought a fucking plane ticket and I went to the goddamn parade in Philadelphia, and it was the
Are you serious?
Of my life.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. The Eagles won the Super Bowl. Immediately after, I went on NFL.com and I bought all of this fucking merchandise. Like, I bought a bunch of fucking shirts, hoodies. I bought bobbleheads, pennants, and then I went on fucking Google Flights and I bought a fucking plane ticket to go to the parade.
That's unreal. I bet that was a wild, wild time.
I saw people pissing and shitting in the streets. It was crazy. I mean, that's a whole nother story. I don't need to go into that. But I was there where they had the speeches. They lifted the trophy. If anybody is anybody for an Eagles fan, Jason Kelce had an epic speech, and I saw it live. It was amazing, man. It was so worth it. And basically, right after that, like, I was with my best friend. I'm like, if the Eagles never win a Super Bowl again, I am so happy that I'm here for this moment. So I can only pray that you can have that moment as well, dude.
Yeah, dude. Well, because I feel like I should know this. Was that your all's franchise's first Super Bowl?
Yes. That was the Eagles' first Super Bowl championship.
Okay, that's what I thought. I remember because I remember Kevin Hart was freaking out too.
That's why I connect with the Titans, because they've had very good teams. The same thing if you go back to the Oilers and shit, they made it to the playoffs all the fucking time. So I mean, I can't imagine being the Titans being 1 yard short. I mean, that's a lot, just to think about. But
do you know that was my what are you gonna say?
I said birthday.
Birthday. No. I remember I think the first game I watched was the AFC Championship game.
Against the Ravens?
No. No, I'm sorry. It was it was the wild card game. It was the Music City Miracle. That was
the Bills. Yeah, Rob Johnson, baby. Yeah.
Rob Johnson.
Rob Johnson, the quarterback for the Bills.
Oh yeah, who cares about it?
Oh, God, the most overrated quarterback in the history of the world. Anyway,
dude. Yeah. Anyways, I wasn't like honestly, I wasn't a huge Titans fan. I'm pretty sure, like, as far as my memory goes, that was the first game that I watched uh, of the Titans. And then, of course, watching the Super Bowl, it was just, I, you can't, I mean, I wouldn't even call myself a diehard at that time, but it was fun. Like the whole room was into it. Uh, you can't put into words that feeling. And I'm almost okay. Obviously, I wish we would have won, but I feel like the fact that we were that close and um, I'm almost glad. I'm not glad that it happened, but like the next day, I didn't know this at the time, but I watched like one of those like NFL history film things or whatever, and it was like Eddie George like went to Jeff Fisher, the coach, and was like, "Hey, we're coming back next year. Like we're coming back." And like literally, like it was that night or it was that day, he started like doing his like full workouts, like prepping to get ready. He was like, I'm not taking one day fucking off. Like we're coming back. And like it was like he was doing like sprints at the facility or something like that the next day. Which is a cool story. And honestly, people look at the Titans, they look down on the Titans now, but some people forget that we were one of the number one or number two threats in the AFC back in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. It was the Titans were always in a run to make a deep run in the playoffs. We went to the AFC Championship the next year too, and obviously it didn't come away with that one, but yeah, man, I just want, having gone through so much like fucking mediocrity, like it's like just as the seasons have passed, the Titans just need some good favor coming their way.
That's tough.
What, are you like taking a pee break?
What do you mean?
It sounded like you were like 15 feet away from the phone or whatever. What are you pouring?
I am not 15 feet away. Sorry.
What are you pouring? Is that whiskey?
I wish. I was invited to fucking Whiskey Wednesday, but I'm not. I'm just here drinking beer, so.
Corey's a big Whiskey Wednesday guy. Did he invite you?
Yeah.
He's a big Whiskey Wednesday guy. Drake's little plug right there.
Plug. No yeah.
No one cares. Well, okay. We'll talk a little bit about some just news amongst the NFL right now, and then we'll quickly move on to some fun topics. It's known, those few people that have listened to the podcast know my hatred for the Jags, and they just fucking now have the opportunity to be a very good team in the division and in the NFL, and it fucking pisses me off. They traded away Jalen Ramsey for a 2020 first round pick, a 2021 first round pick, and a 2021 fourth round pick. Here's what's crazy is you and I had talked about this at lunch today. They're going to, I guarantee they trade away, if not, I could definitely see them trading away 2 of their 4 first round picks at some point in the next whatever, and just get some studs in there. And they still have 2 first-round picks. I mean, it's like nothing changed. And they just got more studs in there. It's fucking annoying. Like, they got Gardner Minshew up there. They're selling fucking ticket planes with his damn mustache and headband. That whole fucking city has rallied. Speaking of Nick Foles, he's done. Like, I don't see another team picking him up. I mean,
that's his second collarbone surgery.
Yeah, he's been somewhat injury prone in general. And then, yeah, you throw in the fact that he came out of retirement to play for the Eagles and then, you know, had a good year, won the Super Bowl, and a team jumped on him and got fucked the first week. So that's classic Jags, though. I mean, as much as I hate the Jags, like, they always get brought back down to reality and, you know, just the bottom dwellers of this nation. So it'll happen. They're gonna be on paper the best team in the division, as everybody always says they are at the beginning of the season, and then they'll go 5-11, like they always do.
I don't know. Like, Jalen Ramsey, what do you want me to say? I mean,
there's nothing.
I don't disagree with you, unfortunately.
Here, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we had to bring it up just because it was big division news, but we definitely don't have to.
You do not recognize the Jacksonville Jaguars as a professional NFL team. Is that correct?
Who are we talking about?
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Never heard of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
They're... I mean, listen, it was fun, like, treating them like shit, and I'll still treat them like shit. You know, saying they're a middle school team, whatever. It's like Pee-wee football out there.
They have the logo of a volleyball team, baby.
Yeah, but then like they beat us, so it's like, oh, like that took all of the wind out of my sails for the entire season as far as just making fun of the Jags. So, you know, it is what it is. I still think the Texans.
Come sail away with me.
Oh, there we go. Oh, speaking of Aris' singing voice.
Are you going to make up a certain Disney night thing?
Yeah, so I'm going to try to find it. It can't be that hard. So Aris last season, and still this season, ran all of our promotions for theme nights and the game, in-game promotions and all that. Did a fantastic job. And
just jerking me off. Thanks, man.
Good. So we did Disney night. And I'm thinking that whatever. It was a really good idea, but that's not the point of the story. We post on Instagram, and I'm doing my game day duty, and I listen to it, and I finish it. I'm like, oh, Aris is a really good singer.
Zippity doo dah, zippity day.
And everyone's like, what? I was like, this is definitely Aris singing this song. And they were like, it does really sound like him. And I was like, it is. So I texted you and I said, hey, man, like, nice singing or something like that. And you replied with, thanks, man, or something like so, like, you just admitted to it. And so I just start telling everybody. I'm like, dude, this is like Aris, like, I had no idea.
Just Charlie Whitehurst.
Come to find out, it's not him. It's like some random fucktard that does Disney songs. But listen to this. I've got it pulled up. This is definitely him. Just I still believe it's him. Here we go. Come down and play. We've got magic every night, every day. Right there, that's definitely
plenty of fun times heading your way. Come to Smoky Stadium this
So that
Saturday,
is you.
August
So you
17th
go
for a
into it,
magical
but
night.
listen, wait for the second line.
Zippity-doo-dah, come down and play.
Right here.
We've got magic every night, every day.
That I will
Plenty
never
of
be convinced.
sunshine coming your way.
I will never be convinced that's not you. It sounds just like you. It is you. I don't know what I'm like trying to like defend it. It is you. And I know that it's like a running joke that you're just saying, you're just denying it. So,
Maybe I am.
You are. And you're purposely sounding bad right now to try and throw me off, but I know. You went in the prop room, you cleared your throat, and you just belted some Disney tunes.
I do love me some me. So, Mulan, that's my girl.
It's a good movie. Good movie for sure. All right, so football talk. We could talk for hours about that.
What else you got, dog? What else you got?
Yeah, well, let's talk about some recent current events. I just want to kind of get your thoughts on a couple things.
Four.
We'll wrap this up, huh?
Beer number 4.
Beer number 4. We got to keep this thing going until you smash that entire thing. So we're gonna keep talking until that happens. Area 51. Would you be one of the people to storm Area 51? Do you have it in you?
No, because I'm not a fucking idiot who's trying to fucking die. Okay, there's different fucking definitions of storm Area 51. There's those assholes who show up and they actually like, oh yeah, let's fuck shit up. And there's those other people who are just like, oh yeah, let me go to the taco truck at Area 51 and just like party. It's pretty much turned to a fucking Coachella. I feel like Area 51 has turned into an area of fucking Coachella. That's what I feel like.
See, I feel like in my mind, like
and in your heart.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I would not do it because, yeah, I'm not a fucking idiot. I understand that the U.S. military would gun me down in a heartbeat as my fucking unathletic ass is waddling down, I don't know. I picture being a desert. I think it is in a desert, but running down the sand, just and then, just pa, and I'm dead. That's how I envision that. But there is part of me that's like, oh, you could be the one that gets by. You could be the one guy. Like everyone else is fucked. But, you would be the they'd be the distraction. You'd flank it, and you'd somehow get in. So, I don't know. I would definitely not do it. There's no way. I care too much about, selfishly, me in my life, my future. I know. Well, on that note, though, do you believe in aliens?
Why wouldn't anyone believe in aliens?
Why would they would not?
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They're definitely here.
Oh, they're already here.
They are sucking our brains as we speak right now.
Do you think yeah, so do you think that we've actually encountered them without knowing?
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, well, I mean they took a form that we perceived as normal. Not necessarily in a human form, but just
are they walking amongst us right now? Yeah. Oh yeah. They are walking amongst us right now.
What do you think they're doing? Like what are they?
Data collection.
Yeah. Isn't it kind of weird to think about anything outside of Earth?
Yes.
Because
Everyone's a fucking pussy and they're scared to think about the fucking real life. And everyone's full of shit because they feel like there's nothing else going on. But here we are. And why do you feel like nothing else is going on? I don't know.
dude, I just bought a book yesterday. I'm super excited about it.
What's it called?
It's Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is a fucking baller. I'll send you a video of him just talking, and you will get sucked into YouTube, and you will recognize that, oh, now it's 5:30 in the morning, and I've watched about 1 million videos of him. So,
Oh, he's one of those. All right. Mm-hmm.
have you not heard of Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Not yet.
Dude, whoa. Do you like the Joe Rogan podcast?
Oh, of course.
So he's made multiple appearances on there, and they're like 3 hour long, 2.5, 3 hour long interviews. He will explain phenomenon and just for lack of a better word, space in the easiest in the simplest terms and simple analogies. It's insane. So I'm super excited about this book. But yeah, like I don't know. It's all very strange because of my upbringing, similar to a lot of
your religious upbringing.
Yeah. So like it, we were always taught at this private Christian school that I went to that it was audible. It was audibly mentioned in science classes when we got to the evolution chapter or anything like evolution. It was like, okay, evolution is chapter 12. We are skipping over this chapter. And so it was like my entire upbringing, it was like, don't even question. Don't use your head and don't believe science, even though we're in science class. Don't believe that kind of science. Things like the Big Bang and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just don't even go down that route. So I'm fairly new to even thinking this, just starting to allow myself to start thinking about the universe, and it fucking hurts my head, and it should hurt everybody's head. If it doesn't, then you just haven't thought about it hard enough. Of course, this is gonna all the Bible Belt people are gonna hear this and just maybe turn it off. But it's there's a galaxy out there that is the way the headline described it is cannibalistic nature that is headed towards the Milky Way. So basically, and it's so far away. It was something it's going to happen in 4.2 or 4.6 billion years from now. But there's a galaxy coming towards us that is going to engulf the Milky Way.
No.
Not
what do you fucking mean right now?
That's what I'm saying. I don't really know, because I don't know I can't have an educated conversation about it, but I read enough about it to where it's I guess in theory maybe it could take a different trajectory at some point, but it's this larger galaxy that is on a path, and it's not gonna I don't think it would decimate Earth. I think
good word, decimate.
Yeah, I think it would just
Beer 5.
Nice. I think we would just become part of that galaxy. If that makes sense.
No.
I could be wrong.
What does that mean?
It means that the Milky Way doesn't exist anymore. Because it's not hey, we're part of the Milky Way, we're part of this other galaxy. I mean, that's how I think about it.
Okay.
I'll send you the link. I don't really know how to like explain it in terms because I don't
This is a lot.
I don't know the lingo. But dude, like black holes and like all that shit, like all that stuff's real. Like it's not like because they see it happening, and they I don't know if this is recently. I think this is a couple years ago when Neil deGrasse Tyson was on the Late Show, Colbert.
Yes.
And they took they had a picture that it was of Earth through the rings of Saturn.
Okay.
And we were, and he made a great, again, this is his like great analogy. He's like, don't mistake that for a speck of dust. That little tiny thing is Earth. And
so,
it's like,
again,
huh?
So insignificant.
Yeah, like like not only are we tiny, you know, but it's like the audacity to think with all of the other galaxies out there, like there has to be other life. There has to be. Like we're seeing it in Mars. The NASA director came out recently. I don't know how recently. It could have been a month or two ago. It could have been last week. That says
Nice.
That says I just heard like Colbert and I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about it. So I think it was fairly recently saying the NASA director or someone in NASA high up said, we have huge news to share about life on Mars, but the American public is not ready to hear about it.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, like, and I don't know if I'm obviously paraphrasing, but it's like, yeah, I don't understand. And then they were having the argument or the conversation about like, do you think that? And I'll ask you, do you think that us finding that life or life could, I guess, evolve on Mars, do you think that unites Earth and people, or do you think that some people will just like shrug it off and just say science is wrong?
I would feel like that, the latter, like science is wrong. The majority of people, I feel like that they totally would feel that way.
Well, because especially here in the South, because the reality is,
especially in the South.
well, especially in the Bible Belt, because like just like every Christian, like if you're a Christian or grew up Christian, you know that if Easter doesn't exist, then Christianity can't happen. It can't be a thing. You have to have the resurrection part of the story for the rest of it to be true. I would make the same argument. I just thought of this right now. If there's life forms, or if we come across a galaxy or something where there's other, like, I'll call them aliens or creatures. I'm not gonna say aliens because that everyone's minds go to like cartoon characters when they hear that. But like, if there's some small, even if it's molecular, like life forms, does that also debunk religion? I don't know.
I don't know as well. That's pretty fucking deep, dude.
Because, I mean, like, I feel like pastors would be scrambling to try and find some passage that had to do with the sky, and they would manipulate it to, still have a consistent message. But I don't think you could. Like, I don't think. I know, it's weird, man. It's like I'm not here trying to debunk anything. I think it's curious.
Heathen!
Yeah, I know. I'm a terrible person.
No, I don't feel that way, but
it's just weird, man. Like, I think that there's so many things out there that, and a lot, some people have been upset with me recently.
Like who?
I'm not going to give. I'm not going to say their names.
Kyle.
It was a friend. We'll call him Kyle. Reached out and wasn't super happy about the things I was posting, and
Sorry to hear that, Kyle. You fucking bitch.
So Kyle, I lean Democrat. He definitely is a Republican, and I was sharing articles that I believe
clothing
that Fox News was not showing, or that other conservative news outlets wouldn't show. And so I was just showing, because I figured a lot of people that follow me, being the South, are Republican. I just wanted to shed some light so they could actually start thinking. And then I'll share some other articles, like the one about the galaxy that's coming towards us. Like, I just want people to start thinking for themselves, and like being okay with that. Like, it's okay to think. It's okay to use your brain. It's like one of the coolest machines ever, that we've ever seen is the human brain. Like, use it. Like, it's okay to have deep thoughts about the universe. You're not going to get scolded. You're not going to fucking hell for it. Anyways, I could probably go on a rant on that for a long time. Do you have any thoughts on just any of that, the universe, how that might affect things, discoveries?
I can be broad with it. People can have their opinion on it. I feel like certain people feel like they know a lot about it. However, I feel like no matter what your political thoughts or your current thoughts on what goes on in space, no one knows anything. I feel like the whole conception on what goes on in the universe is a lie, and no one knows what happens.
You mean in the sense of, like, are you talking about, like, the idea of infinity?
Yes, precisely. Like,
Yeah.
no one knows anything.
There's so much, like, so here's the thing. We don't even know, like, we haven't even discovered all of life form on Earth.
Absolutely not.
We haven't even, some places on Earth, man hasn't even been to. So, yeah, there's no way that we know. Like, the idea of the universe, again, hurts my head to think about. And I will not allow or accept anyone or anyone's thoughts if they say it's just not that interesting or cool. Like, you're a loser if you think that. Like, you, like, how I mean, maybe because you're too lazy to not have those thoughts. I don't know. You're
six. I made it.
You finished it, or you just
I'm
started?
on beer 6. I'm on beer 6.
I have faith in you. Well, I don't. I've been out drinking with you. I know you're going to finish it. You could just kill
You
it
have
right
not
now.
been out drinking me. You're full of shit. Anywho.
Oh, I've definitely not been out drinking. I've been out at
You
a
just said
bar
that,
with
though.
you drinking.
You just said that, though.
I did say that, but you took it out of context. I mean, I've been at a bar with you drinking, so I know that you can hold your own.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, I don't know where this conversation is going, but yeah, it's weird. I'll tell you how that book is. I'm planning on reading it. Me and Abby and I are going to a cabin this weekend in Gatlinburg and kind of getting away.
That's nice.
Yeah, so it should be. It'll be fun. Where you just kind of bring in a book that we'll just kind of in the morning spare times read, and then so I bought that and looking forward to educating myself a little bit on that on the matter of just the universe in general. And yeah, it was on the best. So I'm not plugging the book, but the book was on the New York Times bestseller for it was 30 weeks in a row, or maybe it was more than that. It was at least 30 weeks consistently. It was on the New York Times bestseller list. So I guess people like it.
I guess.
Well, Aris, we're just over an hour. A few minutes over an hour.
That's a lot for the fucking Scruffy Ginger podcast. So
yeah, we usually have around the 30 to 45-minute range, but this is the whole idea. Now moving forward is a little bit longer, talking about some interesting things after
just
football.
Like you, a little bit longer.
Yeah, exactly. Well, cool, man. Well, any topics or last thoughts you want to share before we head off the pod?
Describe Zach Menberger in 3 words or less.
Fuck that guy.
That was literally 3 words. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you asked for it. Worst quarterback ever?
That's also 3 words.
Worst. He's not the worst Titan ever. He's pretty close. Yeah, dude. Zach. Huh?
Disappointment.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we drafted him the 6th or 7th round. He threw at least 2 interceptions a game. That was his calling card. Every fucking week, you knew you were getting at least 2 interceptions minimum, and maybe maybe 200 yards throwing, maybe.
I'll ask you this: who were the last 2 quarterbacks for the Tennessee Titans that started all 16 games of the regular season?
I feel like Jake Locker might have done it once, but he was injury prone. I think Kerry Collins probably did it that one year. Or did he get...
No. Kerry Collins started 15 games.
Fuck. Oh, because Vince Young got hurt week 1 or something like that?
Yes, that was 2008.
Yeah. Well, if it wasn't...
All right,
don't
overthink one of them. One of them is very easy.
Well,
early
McNair.
2000s. Yeah, Aaron McNair for one. But who was the last quarterback to start all 16 games of the regular season? Because Marcus Mariota isn't one of them.
I know that, dude. Shit. God, it's going to be somebody so random. It's not Warren Moon, is it?
No, the year was 2011.
Oh. 11. Is it Matt Castle? No, fuck that.
No, Matt Castle is not the answer.
No. Hold on. It's not. Why can I not fucking think of this? It's not Jake Locker?
Nope. Jake Locker started 11 games for the following year.
I am screaming on the inside right now.
All right, 2010, Vince Young, Kerry Collins, and Rusty Smith started games. But who was the next year?
Oh, I hate myself.
Pat Masselbeck.
You're fucking... I totally forgot Matt Hasselbeck was our quarterback.
2011 was the last year a Titans quarterback played all 16 regular season games.
No shit.
Who would have thought, dude?
Well, I guess I don't... See, here's the thing. I had trouble thinking of a quarterback, and I knew it was going to be someone random like that. I mean, he was our starter for... I think he was our starter for like 2, maybe 3 years. Yeah, man. Fuck that guy. Well, I don't know. The Titans quarterback situation has not been stable since Steve McNair.
No, absolutely not. You're correct.
It's a carousel. It's, 3 years of this person. Here's the thing. I want Jalen Hurts. And I had a conversation with somebody last night that they were like, no, absolutely not. I was not convinced by their arguments. I still want Jalen Hurts. Like, bad.
The only 2 years that Matt Hasselbeck has played every 16 games was 2011 for the Titans and 2007 for the Seattle Seahawks, the year they made it to the Super Bowl. Isn't that weird to think about?
Yeah, that is. Here's an interesting question that is too hard to answer. What NFL franchise, if you had the all franchise team, would be the best team in the NFL? It's okay, like, if 10 years goes by and the game has changed or whatever, like, just as far as talent goes. My initial guess would still probably be the Patriots. Because there's so many Hall of Famers on that defense. And Tom Brady.
So you're not taking the Titans.
Wait. Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about them. Yeah, no, they would win. No, I think the Steelers are up there, especially with their their runs in the 70s and 80s and 90s. Well, and
49ers.
Oh shit, yeah. Well, but I don't know. I mean, obviously they're a good team.
The best for every position there ever was in their prime. That's very hard to fight for, dude.
Yeah, it's too hard to answer. I just think it's kind of cool to talk about.
The Titans wouldn't be in the conversation.
Dude, you didn't have to tell me that. Shit.
Anyway, dude, did you close out, dude? Let's hear it.
Here's the thing. I thought, I've been closing out the pod, and I know you've listened to most all of them, if not all of them.
Every goddamn night.
That's right. I don't like the way I've been closing it out. The whole Jags thing, the whole whatever. It just seems cheesy, and I'm not really into it. I think you and I actually had that conversation before. Honestly, I mean, I think the best way to end it is just to say thank you for listening. Aris, thank you for coming on the pod. Hopefully we will have you on again here soon. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. If you've made it this far, it's an hour and 15 minutes in. You're a rock star. We're going to try to do this every week. I mess up a lot. Sometimes I get busy. But I will do my best to bring you guys fun conversations every week with fun guests. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day. Good night. We will see you next week.